is Vanessa Black, and I was a part of the Elizabeth Baker group. So when we started, we had to create sounds and record it on our Zoom, and I recorded the sound of a comb, and I just pulled my finger back on the comb back and forth for a few times, and Elizabeth got the recording and she edited it with did you use like reverb
Hmm.
with Pro Tools, and it was really cool. And I've honestly I've never edited a sound like that before, so it was kind of cool to hear. And it was weird at the same time because I didn't expect to hear it, well, to ever hear a comb sound like that, honestly. And it was really interesting. I would have never done it ever. Also, I would have never used the Zoom before, so that was really fun and cool to learn about.
Yeah.
The Zoom's a little bit different than a phone recording, isn't it?
Yeah,
What's the big difference? I mean, can you describe that at all?
the Zoom.
Yeah, like, what makes it different than a phone recording?
Honestly, it's really different from a phone recording because you get to adjust the sound, and when it's farther away, you turn it up more. You can't do that on a phone, which is really cool. And in it, when you stop the recordings, they kind of give it numbers. I don't know if you can edit it on the Zoom, but when you take it out, you can.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, the sound quality is just so much higher. It gives you that professional level sound of whatever it is that you recorded. I mean, you've heard yourself play the oboe on recordings of phone, computer, and now on the Zoom too. Um, I got to imagine it sounded kind of different. Did you notice a big difference in the way that you sound as an oboist?
Um, Definitely with the backpack recording.
Yeah.
It was really different to me.
Yeah, that was a good recording.
Can you explain the backpack recording just for, the audience who won't know?
Okay, the backpack recording is where we put our Zoom inside of a backpack. Well, I put my Zoom inside of a backpack, and I zipped it up, and I played my oboe outside of it, and I also made some other noises. And it was a recording. It was kind of a project we had to do, and I just played my oboe, and I made some sounds. But my favorite part was playing the oboe outside of it. It was really cool to hear.
Yeah. And then hearing that in combination with all the other suitcase and backpack recordings through the Elizabeth A. Baker magic vibes filter, what what was that like for you to hear that in this wholly different context?
Some of the recordings actually, it was kind of creepy. But honestly, it was a cool kind of creepy to where you would listen to it again. But it was really creepy at first. That's how it felt.
I mean, horror music has to come from somewhere, right? Yeah. Yeah, and the whole process of like sampling and recording, did that change the way that you hear sounds and life differently at all, or was it something you'd already kind of been thinking about, or?
Honestly, I would have never thought of going on a walk just to record sounds. I wouldn't have done that ever. I would have just gone on a walk.
Yeah.
And listening back, I feel like it makes me notice more of what happened on the walk, and things I wouldn't have paid attention to before. Like the birds are actually like speaking to each other in a way, and I wouldn't have really cared. I just enjoyed the sounds.
So would you say like through this project it's kind of caused you to slow down and appreciate the world a little bit more?
Yeah, actually, it makes you recognize more of what's going on around you.
Yeah. Kind of a meditative experience.
Yeah.
And the idea of like sitting down and recording yourself. That recording you did of the backpack, how long was that?
I think that was like 7 to 9 minutes, somewhere around there.
What a wild thing to do, to just record yourself improvising for that long. Sort of a surprising result. I'm always really surprised when I listen back to those recordings and I hear myself. I'm like, is that what I did? Combined with the recorder being in the backpack, which is like you have no idea what it sounds like in there, unless you can fit yourself in a backpack and listen to somebody play the oboe outside of that. It's a really it's totally unique, and adds just a different way of thinking about how, when you play, other people might be perceiving it. Is there something that you would say was like your takeaway, just generally speaking, from this collaborative project we've been a part of for the last 7 weeks?
A big takeaway. It'd be honestly to pay attention more to the sounds around me. I could do a lot more with, even with oboe, honestly, with how I record it inside the backpack. I honestly really liked it, surprisingly. And I was kind of scared to listen back to it because I thought it was just gonna sound terrible and just cringy in a way. But it was really cool to hear, and I liked it. And I think I should play more with how I do that.
Last question. Did you have fun?
Yeah, with the recordings, especially the backpack one. I thought it was the most fun.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, do you think you'll ever do anything kind of in this sort of world again? This type of improvising and sound walking and etc.
Getting playing oboe with the scores and it not being like actual notes, you kind of just improv. It's so weird to me, and it was very off-putting at first because I didn't really understand it, and it was kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
But as we gone on, I kind of understood more, but I didn't really like the way I was doing it.
Oh, well, that makes one out of the three of us. I think I really liked the way that you were doing it. It sounded really cool to me. Yeah, I mean, I as somebody who's been teaching you for the last 2 years, I thought everything you played was so beautiful, and it just reminded me how important it is to not necessarily put ourselves in that notes on the page and respond with the instrument box all the time, because it probably felt pretty weird, but the result was something that I think was really special, and I'm really glad that it's been recorded in this project so we can look back at that. So that's my takeaway. Is I'm definitely going to try to incorporate some of these ideas of how we listen and how we interact with our instruments and the sounds around us outside of the world of notes on the page, playing out of that box, or maybe in that box with the recorder on the outside, who knows. In a lot of different ways, I'm excited to incorporate that into our music making in the future. And
I'm Yara Nichols, and I thought the flute improvisation was a very unique and creative way of improvising everyday noises into flute music.
So, Yara, your improvisation, what you were inspired by an improv that Vanessa did, right?
Yeah.
And had you ever done a collaboration like this before?
No, because before I joined this, I really wasn't ever really considering such as doing improvisations with everyday noises with my flute until they gave an idea of doing this. So it was a very new thing for me, and I thought it was a very nice way of creating music.
yeah, what was the most unexpected part of this project for you?
The most unexpected part of this project was the kind of style in music, because there is no style in this music. You can have an orchestral style, a rock and roll style, a Western style, and it's okay because in this project there was really no style, which was our main goal. It was really just anything you wanted.
Do you think having no style gave you more freedom, or was it more difficult for you to work with that?
I thought it was more simpler because you didn't have anything to be worried about if you played something, because there was different tones, different styles, different moods, and if you have different kinds of music all around you, then there really is no problem.
Do you think you're gonna keep trying to play music in this style?
I'll try my best to, because I thought it was a way of doing music.
Yeah, I hope you do.
Anthony Dennis. I played the drums at MYCincinnati, and I did a drum solo from my African drum that I had. It was fun doing it. I did it before. It was at my school. I had a program. We were celebrating Black History Month, and I was in the 6th grade at the time, so I didn't know what to do. So all I needed to do was just remember how to do my solo and keep up with the groove of the song. And the song I did, it was like similar to mine, but it was different. So I kind of went for a different style this time. Yeah, it was fun making it. I really like African drums. And it's sometimes new to me because I'm not fully skilled at it. So I'm still kind of working at it. Yeah, that's my experience with the drums.
What was it like to record and listen to yourself back through this process?
It feels good. When you just listen to yourself just play the drums, you feel proud of yourself, like, wow, I just did that. So you just feel confident that you're going to get the rest of your work. If you're a drummer, you know how it feels like to get a whole solo in by yourself and try and keep up with a hard, extreme song. You know, it's cool.
Um,
Nice and chill when you do the drums.
what was the most unexpected part about this whole process for you?
Uh, I don't know. It was me playing the drums because I wasn't expecting myself to play the drums, but kind of was. So I was kind of like, let me think. If I'm going to play the drums in this, so I had to prepare for it. Yeah, but it was most unexpected.
What was your reaction to the altered version of your piece once I did all of the stuff in the studio with it?
It was nice.
Yeah.
I just love listening to drums. It just make me feel good. It's make me chill. And yeah, when I'm mad, I kind of like drum on the floor a little bit. Or I could do something else that's related to it. So I kind of do that.
Do you think that after this project, you're going to record yourself on drums more?
Yes. Because I really want to stick to drums. And maybe I'll go like 20 years on doing the drums. Maybe tell my story on YouTube.
What takeaways did you get from the process we did of like recording all of those other sound samples? Is that something you'd ever done, and how did that impact the way that you hear sounds and music in general, if at all?
So you're saying like how I feel about?
Yeah, I mean, had you ever done anything like taking those field recordings and those samples of just like the sounds around you, like the sound walk and all of that?
I never did it before, but I mean, I did it in here.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I guess my question was, how has that changed the way that you think about like what music is, if it has?
Well, music to me is like a masterpiece, and also Uh, it's pretty cool to like hear music, all types of music, and it's different in their own ways. And I like how they go with different styles. It's just how I think of it.
Yeah.
You said that this process was like a roller coaster for you. Could you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, it was like, well, it's kind of like going up and then I go back down to where I'm like, what should I do next? And then go back up so I can like think about it. So and then I get it and then I go back down just so I can think about another piece. It's sort of like that, just up and downs.
It's a great answer. Thanks, Anthony. Is there anything else you want to say about the project?
It was cool. I liked it.
We think you're cool.
Hi, my name is Harmony Preschilling. I was part of the PHCCF Artist Residency Project led by Elizabeth Baker. I was in charge of being interviewed about the sound vocabulary folder and some paintings that my family and I made during this project, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. First question is, how did you react to hearing everyone else's sounds they recorded? I think it was unusual to hear other people's sounds because when we first started this project, I didn't really expect it to be what it was. We had a lot of space to just record things that we found interesting. Nothing that had a really distinct idea about it. We had freedom to record different things that I haven't usually been able to do inside of projects. So I thought they were really interesting, and they all had a feeling that I would describe them as. Yara Nicole's sample, The Knives Colliding, I thought that one was really interesting because it had a very distinct feeling, for me at least. It made me think of a frying pan. That's kind of weird, but it made me think of frying pans, and I don't think that I've ever felt that about a sound. And it made me feel really warm, even though it had nothing to do with that. And I thought that was cool how in this project I've learned that sounds can make you feel totally different ways, and I don't think I've been able to experience that before. That's all I have to say about that, really. The next question is, can you tell us about paintings you did and your friend's family did? We did these paintings while we were in Florida. We just got back from that trip, and we were doing a tour of the natural springs in Florida. It was fun. And I think when everyone was painting that, we all started trying two different things. I wanted to make flowers, but it didn't really turn out. One of my friends, she was trying to copy something off of her, a phone. It wasn't really working for her, and it got messed up. And then the other person that was painting, she was trying to go for something, but it got messed up. But I think in the end, all of the paintings came out really nice. And that, to me, would be showing that, you don't have to have a plan for everything because it's going to turn out to be fine. I know that I really liked how my painting turned out, and I'm sure that they did too, because in the end, we were just painting how we were feeling. And in a way, I was connecting to the project that I was doing at the time, this project, and I was able to paint that, and it was a lot of fun. And I think they all came out really nice. And the names for them, like, it was interesting. It was a lot of fun, and I would do it again. And I know that in the end, everybody thought that they were something special.